What is up, guys? I am the one and only Eagle Double T, and in this video, I'm going to be comparing the Xbox One S controller, DualShock 4, and Wii U Pro controller, and seeing which one is the best. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, the DualShock 4 is by far Sony's best controller yet. It feels a lot better than the previous DualShocks. It's bigger, it's more comfortable, and it's pretty much improved in almost every way. The D-pad is nice. It is my least favorite D-pad out of the controllers that I'm comparing. However, it is very nice. This is a pretty comfortable controller. I can hold it for the most amount of time out of the controllers that I'm comparing, but it is pretty comfortable. However, my hands do start to cramp after a while. It has a nice speaker. It has a touchpad, which none of the other controllers have, so that's really cool. And it has a light bar, and it charges through micro USB. So this controller is rechargeable. However, it does have the worst battery life out of all the controllers I am comparing at about 8 hours. So not bad, but it's not that good either. So overall, the controller is nice. However, my biggest complaints about it are the triggers, which they're okay. They function well. However, they just don't feel that good for shooters, and they're just not very good, personally, in my opinion. And the joysticks are extremely slick, and the radius is horrible, and your fingers slide right off this. And if you have greasy hands, just put the controller down and walk away, because there's not even use in playing this. So while this controller does have its advantages, it also has its disadvantages. Now we get to the Wii U Pro controller, which is Nintendo's most serious controller that they've ever released, and it's one of their finest. It has a very responsive, typical Nintendo D-pad, definitely the best D-pad, probably ever. It has these very nice joysticks. They're very smooth, and they just kind of like glide around, and they're nice and grippy. I like them. Has these nice A, B, X, and Y buttons, a player indicator, player 1, 2, 3, or 4, which is cool. It has these nice bumpers, and it has these triggers, and the triggers really aren't anything special, and they're really basic, but they are pretty nice, having very little distance to travel. It charges through mini USB, and this controller has a battery life of 80 hours, which is by far the best out of all the controllers on the list. Also, this controller is very, very comfortable, so that's very nice too. However, one thing is, it doesn't have a headphone jack, unlike the other controllers on this list. It is much lighter, which makes it feel a bit cheaper than the other controllers. However, it does feel built very well. And also, the button layout is symmetrical on top, which a lot of people aren't going to like. It did take a bit of getting used to with me. And for shooters like Black Ops 2, I still just don't feel quite as well using it, and I can't perform as well. However, overall, I do like this controller, and it does have its flaws, but it also has its advantages too, like the amazing battery life and the great comfort. And finally, we get to the Xbox One S controller. Now, this controller is by far Microsoft's best controller ever. It fits in my hands very, very well, and it's clear that a lot of research and development was put into this controller. And it also followed in the footsteps of the 360 in terms of button layout and just overall design. Has a very nice home button up here, 2 buttons down here, nice A, B, X, and Y buttons, very clicky and responsive. A very clicky and responsive D-pad. It's kind of strange. It's like almost clicky, almost like the mouse to a keyboard. The joysticks are very, very nice. The radius is perfect. They're responsive. And they're very grippy with this nice texturing along the outside of the controller. So that's very nice. It also has, it takes batteries, which is the controller's by far biggest disadvantage. However, the battery life is nice, and you can buy rechargeable battery packs for it. So that's nice. As you can see, I have a rechargeable battery pack right here. And then you can charge them through micro USB. So that's really nice. This controller has rumble in the triggers, which is very, very nice because it really makes for a precise gameplay, especially in racers and shooters. and it feels very, very nice. And not only that, but it also has the regular 2 rumble motors in the controller, as long as the ones in the triggers. So that is very, very nice, and just, it feels very good. It also has this very, very nice texturing along the bottom of the controller, and it definitely feels a lot better than the texturing on the DualShock 4. So, this controller is very nice. However, it doesn't have a speaker like the DualShock 4, and it's not rechargeable, but it definitely has some nice features too, like it's very comfortable and the joysticks are wonderful. In the end, I would say the Xbox One S controller is the winner. It has amazing joysticks, buttons, a great D-pad, very nice rumble, it's very nice to use the controller, great triggers, it's comfortable, it has great texturing. So overall, I'm giving the victory to the Xbox One S controller. However, one thing I have to comment on is the fact that it isn't rechargeable, which really sucks, but it does have a decent battery life. I am the one and only Eagle Double T, signing off. Goodbye.